This afternoon, we are here to celebrate Baba Vigo Blake and his, what we want to call them, his fellow champions for education. As I take you down memory lane, I want you to close your eyes. Just close your eyes. I promise you, in Bethesda, nobody could take up your stuff. Drummers, make it a little louder for me. The thing about the drum is that it brings us back to a time, to a place that you know deep down in your soul. You don't have to pretend. It's not the carnival drum. It's the drum and drumming of your ancestors. I want you to cast your mind back to the 1800s, 1813 in particular. Our ancestors were enslaved. They were not slaves. They didn't owe anyone any monies. They were captured and stolen from the motherland of Africa. They were brought to Antigua and all over the Caribbean, South America, to be enslaved, to be exploited. In the midst of that exploitation, a gentleman who is described as a head enslaved person, Vigo Blake, would have observed just up yonder at the Lions Estate, Charles Thwaites and his wife, Elizabeth Hart Thwaites, journey to the estate to teach the children of the enslaver. And somehow in that moment, he recognized that there must be something significant about what they were doing. And he thought it important that the black children also get some of that learning. And he approached the teachers, Charles Thwaites and Elizabeth Hart Thwaites, and said, would you teach our children? To which they agreed. And he said, if you can get, he would have said, Massa, I'm going to say the enslaver, to donate some lands, we will build a school. It's 1813, brothers and sisters. There's no Jews, plumbing, Kennedys. There's no place to go shop for materials. And also you have to remember that these brothers and sisters, our ancestors, were enslaved. They couldn't do this during the regular hours because that's when they had to work on the plantation. So in the nights, having identified this spot, this very spot where this church sits, as the place to build a school, our ancestors would have cut trees, whatever they could find, to create lumber to build this school. Our story records that the school was 16 feet by 44 feet. It had a thatched roof, bush, and it had dirt for a floor. On May 29th, 1830, 21 years before the emancipation of slavery, our ancestors opened the first purpose-built institution to educate black people in the English-speaking Caribbean.
In a way that meets the needs of today's learners and strengthens our national development. Today, we also celebrate individuals who, like Vigo Blake, have given of themselves in service to others. I join in congratulating them all. Lavon Olean Brian Davis, a Carifta medalist and a national figure in athletics. In fact, I was president of the Athletics Association when Lavon was doing some of those things. And Mrs. Georgia A. Welsh, a businesswoman and community activist who has touched many lives, especially those of the youth in Piers and Bethesda. To all the recipients of the Vigo Blake Distinguished Community Service Awards, your recognition today is richly deserved. You are the modern-day torchbearers of a legacy built on sacrifice, vision, and an unwavering commitment to the betterment of others.
We want to go forward. Even 797 miles of time with our ships. For the man Sarah.
There are some young people who have done sterling work in terms of researching and documenting aspects of our education in Antigua and Barbuda. One of them, I believe, most of you from Bethesda community should know very well. Her name is Miss Joy Lawrence. Name sounds familiar? All right. And then there's another young lady, a little younger than Joy, named Barbara Arundel. There's the Venerable Keithlyn Smith. And in more recent years, there's another young lady who has done a lot of work with some frequency in documenting the lives of the ordinary, and that is Miss Petra Williams. And I think we should all celebrate that. Now, Vigo Blake Day is a wonderful thing for us to celebrate. 1813, Ralph asked us to close our eyes and just journey back into 1813 and imagine what it was like then. We're talking about a time when people of African ancestry living in these parts had no political rights, could not own property, had no legal rights. And here it is, Vigo Blake and his compatriots, enslaved people, were able to convince a segment of the white society who ruled over the entire country to say, let us have a school to educate black people.
I couldn't sit there going hungry because I understand what life is all. And I'm thanking everybody for all that they have done for me. Thank you.
On her behalf, this afternoon is Mr. Marlon Lawrence, her nephew, who will receive the award.
Honored to receive this award on behalf of my husband. He would have loved to be here, but unfortunately, he is back in the hospital again. This is an event that Paul really loved coming to, attending, and taking part on a yearly basis. And I'm asking you guys to hold him up in your prayers, because with your prayers and God's grace, we will be back here next year.
They are my grandchildren, grandparents, and I have younger ones, many of whom I don't know. But I'm rooted in this community. When I turn the corner there by Clyde Moore, I'm taken over by the nostalgic feeling of the memories of what happened here.
teachers were going out on their holidays. We had fetes, we had parties. The team was intent on improving things there.
In 1990, he won the Carnival Calypso Monarch crown for the first time. Throughout the years, King Zero also had a passion for politics. He was aligned with the then ruling Antigua Labour Party. He was branch chairman for several years. In 1991, Linwall Zero Joseph contested a by-election and was elected as a member of parliament representing the people and constituency of St. Philip South.
But I do believe that this would have been the most important award that he would have received, and he would have welcomed it with full arms. So thank you again to the residents and the community group of Bethesda and Christian Hill. Thank you so much.
On behalf of our late father, author George Jingles Goodwin, we want to express our heartfelt gratitude to the members of the Bethesda Heritage Foundation for recognizing his work and honoring his legacy in this meaningful way. Our dad was a man of passion, purpose, and had a deep commitment to sports and community development.